we are starting goods and services tax today. In short, we call it GST. Earlier, the system was called VAT, value added tax. Now it has been changed to GST. Now, goods and services tax means when any goods are sold in the market or any service is provided, okay, then the tax has to pay to the government. Okay, it goes to central government as well as state government, right? Because both the governments require money to run the country. Okay, you have to build this infrastructure, they have to pay the salary of the government employees, they have to make hospitals, we have to make roads. Okay, there are so many investments there, okay, expenditures from the government. So government gets money from the people in terms of tax. So whenever any items are sold or any service provided, then tax has to be paid to the government. So that is called GST. Now basically there are three ways tax is collected. There are three types of GST taxes. The first one is CGST. CGST means Central Goods and Services Tax. Central. So this tax goes to central government. SGST means State Goods and Service Tax. So this tax goes to state government, okay, respective state governments. And IGST, this means interstate. This also goes to central government. Now, what is the difference between CGST and IGST? Okay, now when the sales are intra-state means when the item is produced in one state and sold in the same state, or when the item is purchased in one state and sold in the same state. In that case, it is called intra-state. So in that case, the total tax, okay, is divided into two parts, equal parts, and one part goes to central government as CGST, other part goes to state government as SGST. Now you can see the slabs here. There are basically 5 slabs: 0%, 5%, 12%, 18%, 28%. Very, very essential commodities. The rate is 0%, no tax. Okay, so it depends upon. Then in the luxury items, you have the highest tax, 28%. Now, suppose any item tax is 12%. So if it is produced in a state and sold in the same state, then 6% of the total sale price goes to central government as CGST and 6% goes to SGST. Whenever the sale is intra-state, then if rate is 12%, 6% will go to central government as CGST, 6% goes to state government as SGST. If the rate is 18%, then 9% to central government, 9% to state government. So is equally divided. Okay. Now, so whenever any article is purchased in one state and sold in the same state, then tax is divided equally among central and state governments. But if the sale is interstate, meaning suppose article is purchased from Bihar and sold in West Bengal, in that case, that tax goes to central government. Okay, both the states do not get any tax in that case. Okay, so that is called interstate. In one state is purchased and sold in another state. In that case, it is called interstate. So IGST will be charged in that case. Okay, so as we do the problems, it will be clear. Now, how to calculate GST? Now, input GST, the formula is rate of GST into purchase price. So remember, whenever article is purchased, okay, tax has to be paid. All right. Okay, that is called input GST. For example, a shopkeeper, okay, when he buys any article for selling, then he will pay tax to the person from where, okay, he has purchased the article. So that is his input tax. Okay, so if it's intra-state, then it will be input CGST and input SGST. So now when he sells it to the customer, then he will collect tax from the customer depending upon the sale price. So in that case, that will be output GST. So when you purchase, that's called input GST. So rate of GST will be given here. It will be provided in the question. Okay. So when you calculate tax on purchase price, that is called input GST. Input, that is GST, means it can be input CGST and input SGST. So when you sell it, then in that case the tax collected is called output GST, output CGST and output SGST. Okay, so that is rate of GST into sale price. Now, so when you purchase, you pay tax, and when you sell, you collect tax. Okay, when you purchase, input GST, when you sell, that is output GST. Now GST, okay, so retailer, how much GST retailer will pay to the governments, central and state governments? That will be given by this formula: output GST minus input GST. He will pay to the central government output CGST minus input CGST. To the state government, he will pay output SGST minus input SGST. Okay, so whether it is CGST or SGST, now formula is output minus input tax. Okay, so now that is to the government. Now how much customer has to pay? That's called the final price. Okay, final price will be final selling price. So how much, at what price the retailer will sell it to the customer, plus tax on this final price, that means total GST. Okay, so that will be the final price. Now rate of GST will be, if question says find the rate of GST, in that case GST total amount paid upon mark price. What is the mark price? Into 100%, that is rate of GST. Now how this GST is calculated? See, so manufacturer will produce articles. Okay, so manufacturer will give it to trader. Okay, trader will give it to wholesaler. Okay, and wholesaler will give it to retailer, and finally retailer will sell it to customer. Okay, so manufacturer, trader, wholesaler, retailer, and then finally customer. So manufacturer, he will purchase the raw materials. Okay, so when he sells any article to trader, okay, then he will collect tax from the trader. Okay, so that tax he will pay to the government. So whenever he sells, he will pay tax to the government. Okay, so now trader has already paid tax on the purchase price. Okay, so when now he will increase the price. Suppose here 1000 is the price manufacturer. Okay, and rate of tax is 10%. Both, for example, for convenience you are taking 10%. Okay, so 10%. So 10% of 1000 will be 100. Okay, so 100 he will pay tax. So he will pay 100 tax. Okay, so he will collect 100 rupees tax and he will pay to the government. Now this goes to trader. So suppose trader will sell it for 1200. Okay, so at the 10% tax rate will be same, so he will collect 200 tax. Now see, his input tax is 100, his output tax is 200. So out of 200, 100 he has already paid while purchasing. So now the difference, this is output minus input. The difference of 100 rupees you will pay to the government. So this will go to the government as GST. Okay, so now you see, when he purchased from manufacturer, he already paid 100 rupees tax, and when he sells it to wholesaler at 1200, okay, so he will collect say 120 rupees, say 120 rupees. Okay, 120 rupees. So out of 120, now 100 rupees he has already paid. So now the difference is 20. So this 20 will pay to the government as GST. Okay, so now okay, so it goes to wholesaler. Now wholesaler, while purchasing, he purchased at 1200, so he paid tax 120. Now he will sell it to retailer for 1500, suppose. Okay, so at the 10% rate he will collect 150 tax. But when he collects 150, 120 has already paid here. So the remaining 30 rupees he will pay to the government. Okay, so Now wholesaler has sold it to retailer. Retailer has already paid 150 input tax. Okay, so this is input tax here, input tax. This is also input. Okay, input tax. This is input tax, right? Now suppose retailer sells it for 2000. Okay, to customer. So he will collect tax at for rupees 2000 or on 2000 at the rate of 10%. So it will be 200. So but he has already paid 150 tax, input tax. So the difference 50 rupees he will pay to the government. So the customer, okay, customer will pay how much? The final price. This 2000 is the price and 200 is the tax. So this is what customer will pay. So 2200 he will pay. So that is the price. So this is the final price here. Final price is final sale price 2000, because this is the final sale price, and total GST is 200. So total GST is 200. Out of 200, 100 rupees is paid by manufacturer, 20 rupees is paid by trader, 30 rupees paid by wholesaler, and 50 rupees paid by retailer. So altogether 100, 20, 30, 50. So altogether 200. Though tax is paid by all these people separately to the government, but eventually entire tax is paid by the customer. Okay, eventually when he purchases, the entire tax is paid by customer, 200, but this 200 is paid by different people here. So manufacturer will pay 100 rupees, trader will pay 20 rupees, wholesaler will pay 30 rupees, retailer will pay 50 rupees. Altogether 200 rupees he will collect from customer. This is how tax is calculated. Okay, so remember, for manufacturer, okay, his input tax is not there because he is not purchasing the article he is making. So when he sells, he will have output tax. So that output tax he will pay to the government. Okay, this will go to government. Okay, this will go to government. This will go to government, and this will go to government. Okay, and for trader, so when he purchases, he will pay input tax, and when he sells, he will collect output tax. Okay, the difference he will pay to the government. For wholesaler also, when he purchases, he will pay input tax. When he sells, he will collect output tax. The difference is GST. For retailer also same thing. When he purchases, he will pay input tax here. When he sells, he will collect output tax. So difference is GST. So GST is output minus input tax. So when there are many intermediaries here, people involved, okay, in that case, you have to find for every 1 year. You have to find for manufacturer, trader, wholesaler, retailer, and finally for customer. But if there is only retailer and customer, in that case, if there is only retailer here, then you have to find at what price he purchased, you will find input tax. At what price he sold, you will find output tax. The difference is his GST. Okay, so this way we will calculate GST. All right, but then you have to check whether it is intra-state or interstate. If the sale is intra-state, means within the state. Item purchased in West Bengal and sold in West Bengal only, that is intra-state. In that case, we will calculate CGST and SGST. But if the article is purchased in one state and taken to another state and sold it in that state, then we calculate interstate IGST. So CGST will go to central government, SGST will go to state government, and IGST also will go to central government. Okay, so now we'll take some questions, right, to understand this one, the concept. Okay, so exercise 1, you see your book. Okay, exercise 1, the question is too long, so I'm not writing here on the board. So I have the question here. Now the first question, exercise 1, you see, a manufacturer sells TB to a dealer for rupees 18,000. Okay, manufacturer sells to dealer for 18,000 and the dealer sells it to consumer at a profit of 1,500. If the sales are intra-state, within the state, and the rate of GST is 12%, find number 1, the amount of GST paid by dealer to the state government, means SGST, then amount of GST received by central government, so total CGST, and the amount of GST registered by state government, total SGST, and the amount that consumer pays. So final price for the consumer. Okay, so here manufacturer's GST is not asked, so we start with dealer. Okay, so before that, here rate of GST first. Question number 1. Rate of GST equal to 12%. Okay, so here sales are intra-state. So there are, since sales are intra-state, CGST will be 6% and SGST will also be 6%. Equally they will divide. Okay, now we start with for dealer. For dealer, okay, his purchase price. So for dealer, to calculate his GST, you have to find input tax and output tax. To find input tax, you have to know purchase price. To find output tax, you have to know sale price. So for dealer, purchase price is equal to, at what price he purchased? 18,000 rupees, 18,000. Okay, so now his input tax, therefore input CGST equal to 6% of 18,000. Okay, 18,000, that is 6 by 100 into 18,000. So that will be equal to 0, 0, cancel. Okay, 6, 0, 0, 6 8 the 48, 6 1 the 4, so 1080. So this much is input CGST. So therefore input SGST also 6% of 18,000 only. Okay, 18,000. So this is same as this. So rupees 1080. No need to calculate again. Okay, for dealer we found out. So now dealer sells it to consumer, okay, at a profit of 1500. Okay, so dealer sells it to consumer at a profit of 1500. So profit is equal to rupees 1500. So therefore sale price is equal to, you have purchase price was 18,000, okay, plus 1500. So you have 19,500 is the purchase sale price. So therefore output CGST is equal to 6% of 19,500 equal to, and output SGST equal to 6% of 19,500. So same way we calculate. Okay, so we calculate here, that is 6%. So 0.06 into 19,500. So that's equal to rupees 1170. So here rupees 1170. Okay, so output tax also found. Now let's see the question. Okay, so what the question, what we have to find out. So now answer number 1, because there are no other people involved here. Okay, so now let's try to answer the question. The first question is amount of GST paid by dealer to state government. So number 1, state government. So SGST paid by dealer. So SGST paid by dealer means it is output SGST minus input SGST. So it is output SGST minus input SGST. Okay, so output SGST is 1170 minus input SGST is
1080. Okay, so minus 1080. So you get rupees 90. So rupees 90. So first answer is 90. So
SGST paid by dealer. SGST means GST paid to state government by dealer. Okay, that is rupees 90.
so answer number 2.
Now it says the amount of GST received by central government. Okay, so CGST received. CGST means GST received by central government. Okay, CGST received equal to. Now here, okay, now input tax is paid 1000 and output tax here. So the government received this output tax. Okay, because our item was sold at 19,500. Okay, and 6% of that goes to CGST here, central government. So it is rupees 1170. Okay, CGST received by central government. Number 3, total. This is total. Okay, it's not paid by any person, but this is received by central government. So final output tax is what the central government receives. Number 3. Number 3 says the amount of GST received by state government. So SGST received means is also rupees 1170 only, because they equally divide. Okay, so number 4. So question says the amount that consumer pays. So amount paid by consumer. Okay, so consumer will pay final sale price. Final sale price is how much? Sale price is 19,500 plus final output CGST, that is 1170 plus output SGST 1170. Okay, total. Yes. So the consumer will pay total GST. Total GST is total output CGST and output SGST. This is the total GST plus final sale price. So you get here then 19,500 plus 1170 plus 1170. So is equal to 21,000 rupees, 21,840. Okay, so this is what the consumer pays. All right. So this is how you can solve the problem. So we'll take one more question. Question number 2. So you can check in the book the question. I'll just write down what are given in the question. Okay. If you want to copy it, you can pause video and you can copy it. Question number 2. So number 2, it says a shopkeeper buys a camera at a discount of 2 or 20% from wholesaler. The printed price of the camera being 1600. So here printed price is equal to rupees 1600. Okay. He purchased at 20% discount, all right, and shopkeeper sells to consumer at the printed price. Okay, so sales are intra-state and rate of GST is 12%. So rate of GST equal to 12%. So here, since sales are intra-state, okay, so CGST equal to 6% and SGST also 6%. All right, intra-state means it will become half. Now here for shopkeeper now. Okay, so for shopkeeper, okay, so purchase price, I told you first you have to find purchase price. So purchase price
is equal to, now
Printed price is 1600, so he buys at a discount of 20%. So that is 1600 minus 20% of 1600. Okay, so that means 0 cancel, 0 cancel here. So that is 1600 minus 160 into 2, so 320. Okay, so 1600 minus 320, so 1600 minus 320. Okay, so 1280, so rupees 1280. Okay, this is the purchase price. So on purchase price, now you will calculate input. So therefore input CGST equal to 6% of rupees 1280 and input SGST equal to 6% of rupees 1280. So we calculate 6%, that is 0.06 into 1280. So 1280 is equal to it is in decimal we get 76.80. So rupees 76.80, rupees 76.80. So this input CGST. Okay. So now you have to find sale price. Sale price, question says he sold it at printed price. That means he sold it for rupees 1600. Okay. So therefore output CGST equal to 6% of rupees 1600 equal to. So let's calculate 0.06 into 1600. So is equal to, it is rupees 96. So rupees 96. So output is GST is also 6% of rupees 1600, that is rupees 96. Okay, this is done. Now after finding input and output, now we look at the questions. Okay, what we have to find. So the first question is GST paid by shopkeeper to the central government. So central government, so that means CGST paid by shopkeeper. Okay, you know output minus input. So output CGST is 96 minus 76.80. So rupees. Okay, so 96 minus 76.80. So that is 19 rupees 19.20. So this is the first answer. So number 2. So number 2 question says GST received by central government. So CGST received. Okay, so that is final output CGST, that is rupees 96. Okay, so rupees 96. Question number 3. So GST received by state government. So SGST received means SGST means by state government is also rupees 96. So number 4, it says the amount which the consumer bought the camera. So amount is the same thing, amount paid by consumer is equal to, so final sale price is 1600 plus GST 96 plus 96. Okay, so you have 96 into 2, okay, that is 192 plus 1600. So plus 1600, that means it will be 1792. So rupees 1792. So this is the final price paid by the government. Okay, so we'll be doing some more questions in the next class. Okay.